are you?
See you again. Welcome back.
Third time's a charm. I finally took the stairs this time.
All right, we're ready for our final press conference of the day. It's the Presbyterian Blue Hose. They are the number 16 seed in the Albany 1 Regional, 21-14 overall. They won 8-8 in the Big South and advanced to the NCAA tournament by winning the Big South Conference tournament. They also advanced to this round by winning last night in the first four, 49-42 over Sacred Heart. Today we're joined by head coach Laura Sharp and student athletes Brianna Brady and Christina Klein. Coach, if you would, please make an opening statement.
I'm really proud of our team from last night. I thought it was a gutsy, gritty type of win. I loved the way that we came out in the first half. I thought we got a little bit back on their heels, and their switching physical defense in the second half bothered us. So it's good to get some of that on film to make some corrections and adjustments for tomorrow. But it's just been great. You know, our players deserve this. We went around and we were asking what everyone's kind of favorite moment and memory from yesterday was, and everyone just keeps talking about the crowd showing up for us, and I think we all just took a second and realized, you know, we really built that together and have created this awesome fan following and support, and we're so proud and we're so thankful, and we want to see everybody back tomorrow.
With that, we'll open up for questions for the student athletes first, if you would, and raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you, Joe, with the first one.
I'll lead off with you, Brianna. It's a pretty obvious question, but how much does the equation change with Cardoso out for tomorrow's game?
I do think that it changes like our game plan a little bit too, and then my offensive gameplay. She definitely affects a lot of shots and whatnot, but the whole South Carolina team as a whole is very athletic and very just able to contribute, I guess, whatever she's when she's not there. But I think that I just have to be aggressive. We have to pump fake around the rim, things like that, like be really fundamental with them. I think that her being out definitely gives us a little bit more of a offensive, like makes our offense a little bit easier around the rim. But regardless, we're going to have to go out there and play. They're a good team. We're a good team. I think we're just going to go out there and be aggressive.
Another question, Pete.
Pete Yakabelli with the Associated Press for Brianna and Christina. And you guys won an NCAA tournament game, you know, something your program had never done before. How do you kind of go right from the joy and jubilation of that to getting back into game mode and trying to figure out tomorrow?
Brianna, you want to take that first?
Yeah, yesterday Coach Sharp told us to enjoy the moment and take in all of the love and support that we've gotten, and then turn the page as of today. So I think that we took the time yesterday to enjoy it and take it in, and we made history once more. And I think that today we all woke up and knew that there's a job to get done. We have to prepare the right way. So I think we all definitely flipped that script, and we're going into practice today understanding that we have a job to get done tomorrow. We have to prepare the right way.
Christina?
Well, I think we had to do that at High Point. We knocked off the number 1 seed at High Point. We had to go and play number 3 seed like the next day. So I think we're used to it, and like you said, I think we're ready.
Let's go down here in the front, right behind you.
Sorry. Christina, what does it mean as a shooter to have played 2 games here in this arena, and what does the size of the place do to you as far as depth perception and things like that?
I mean, as a shooter, you just try to focus like more on the court than what's going around like outside. But it is definitely helping us, I think, talking to other shooters on the team. We feel more confident taking those shots like yesterday than we did at South Carolina. Not only a different team, but just feeling more comfortable because we had practiced as well, another shoot around. So it just makes us feel more confident.
Joe?
Staying with you, Christina, can you kind of break down the game plan? Being able to see, obviously, South Carolina early in the season will help, but how do you deal on the perimeter with the guard play that South Carolina has, especially with Full Wiley, who can really push the pace and keep the pressure on your defense before you're able to set up?
I mean, just high hands, high hands, try to discourage the shot, but try to stay down and as far as we can, as well as keeping a high hand, but be ready for that first step.
Got a question in the back there? Amanda?
Amanda Full Watch Fox here in Columbia. Brianna, this one's for you. I was wondering, this team is the smallest Division I school to be in this tournament right now, to be dancing, but it seems like it's one of the biggest hearts when you talk about a program. When I was here yesterday, it was all blue here, which obviously the road trip's a little easier for you guys than it was for Sacred Heart, but can you describe the heart of this program and how you've seen it grow through its fan base this past year?
So when we first started out, this year, we definitely had a struggle with just people coming to our games and getting people there. But regardless of that, our team never took that, to heart. We knew people were behind us, but we stayed together. We leaned more into each other. Of course, we had some injuries and whatnot, grew our hearts, made us closer together. So it didn't really matter what was going on around us. We had each other, so that was okay. But then in the last couple of weeks towards the end of the season and whatnot, we did some things to get some people in the crowds, and it made our gym get more packed, get more full, and it made those games really fun to be in and experience that type of atmosphere. Seeing people yesterday coming out and just being dressed in blue, it was such a great feeling seeing all those people out there in the crowd. I think that our coaching staff and all those who are behind the scenes did a lot to get people here and to get people at our games, and I really appreciate that because they don't understand how much that they changed the game for us.
Let's go the blue shirt there.
Kind of going off of that, Chris, how do you think you guys can kind of lock in and stay focused knowing that South Carolina will be at home and they will have a ton of fans here tomorrow?
Some places we did in conference we went to had kind of the same, like High Point, they have a nice arena with a lot of fans. And I think we do a good job as a team, staying focused on the court because we have each other. And, Tilly does a good job at, saying we got to stay together within us and don't worry about anything outside.
Let's go here in the front.
Both of you, situation like this, 16-1, is it harder or easier to go in and play loose like you're playing with house money?
Chris, you want to take that first?
I think it's better to play loose. We played them before, and we were kind of tight before, so that didn't really go our way. So I think just being able to play them before and now, I think we can go in loose knowing that, we don't really have anything to lose. So just play together and see where it takes us.
Brianna?
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's easier to play as the underdogs. And like I said before, everybody knows that we're the underdogs. It's not a secret. So going out there and being able to just play basketball and be loose and understand that we have nothing to lose as far as going out there, playing hard, playing together, and doing the things that got us here. I think that we'll be okay if we go out there and we execute the game plan and we do what we've been doing to get us to this point now.
Joe?
For you both, if you're comfortable sharing, was there a particular person that you guys heard from after the game yesterday, whether it's family from home, people here around you, that was special to you to be able to kind of celebrate that moment with, if you're okay with sharing?
Brianna, you want to go first?
Yeah, lucky for me, my parents actually flew down here and were able to be here at the game yesterday, and they'll be there tomorrow. After the game, they definitely hugged me and told me how much they were proud of me, how much they loved me and stuff like that. And it means so much that they were able to experience this moment with me. Going back to the hotel and being able to talk with them, and my dad, he's the most analytic person in trying to coach me up. So we watched the game back, and he told me what to do here, what to do there. So it was really good just being able to experience that was back when I was starting to play in high school or AAU. That's what he used to do. So it felt good for him to be on my side, for my mom to show me some love and just be there with them.
Chris?
Well, I couldn't make it off the court without my dad, coming and stopping me and giving me a hug. He's been there, for AAU and, every game. So he just kind of told me. He couldn't really, say it because it was just so emotional that, was probably one of my biggest games, like just in my basketball career. So I think that's what kind of set the emotions after the game for me.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Seeing none, they can go on back to the locker room.
Thank
if you'd like.
you.
And the PC locker room is open for those of you who'd like to go down there. And we'll open up for questions for Coach Sharp. Again, raise your hand. We'll get the microphone to you. Pete in the front with the first one.
Laura, kind of a similar question to what I asked the players. I mean, you guys won an NCAA tournament game. I mean, win or lose tomorrow, it's already been an unbelievable season filled with accomplishment. How do you kind of balance what's already happened with what tomorrow is?
Well, anybody close to me knows that I'm all about the mindset of you only live once and you want to soak everything in. Making memories is why you play college basketball. It grows you as a person. And for me as the head coach, I want to build relationships. I want to grow young women, and I want to give them a great student athlete experience. And we've checked that box, and we've made memories together. And I exactly what they said. I mean, that's what, soak it in tonight. And then we have to wake up with the mentality of, obviously, we're the underdog, but we've got to find a way. Me, as the head coach, I have to be the engineer of belief, and our coaching staff has to put together a game plan and then go out there on the court and present it in practice. And then our players have got to go out and scrap and believe in each other. And it doesn't matter if anyone believes but us. But we can't step on the court without that type of belief in our hearts and knowing that we can compete and keep it in striking distance, because we know if we do that, they'll be tight, we'll have nothing to lose, and we'll put ourselves in a great position.
Let's go in the back, Amanda.
Coach, your sixth season at PC. Why this year? Why this team to be able to make this historic run?
I say it as the power of human connection. I think that, there's so many ups and downs of a season, and when you can create a culture of relationships matter and putting the team before yourself, because you're not always going to make all the shots or you're not always going to get all the playing time that you want. You're an ankle sprain away from somebody else taking your minutes, and then you've got to earn those back. And so playing college athletics is really, really hard, but it's so much better when you get a group of people together that really love each other, from our coaching staff to our team. And we have so much love and respect that I just think that's why we're here. I think the adversity has helped us reach higher and dig deeper. I think that they just have stepped up. And the other way I describe it is invisible progress, that we do a lot of player development in our program. And I just think about last night when Christina Klein made that kind of fadeaway jumper, and you just see some of the things that we work on and the head down work that they've done starting to show up at the right time. And we've played really good basketball at the right time, and that's what you set out to do. And maybe we didn't look like this team in January and February, but that's what we needed to get where we are. And I'm so glad that they stuck with me, because I think a lot of players could have said, well, I'm done trying your way. It hasn't worked a while, but they just kept believing in the one way, and that's why we're here.
So let's go down here in the front, then to Pete.
What's the plan for tonight?
Tonight as in our prep, or?
No, just what are you going to do to, it's pretty early start time tomorrow, so what's the plan tonight? Going to watch Hoosiers or?
Yeah. Well, we'll watch film of South Carolina, so we'll go into practice and, we'll present the game plan. We'll talk through it. Obviously, we can't do a whole lot. We want to protect our legs, because South Carolina does have the advantage from not having to play the play-in game, and they'll be a little more fresh. So I've got to make sure that we're mentally and physically fresh and want to go out and play tomorrow. So we'll go back and we'll watch some film and we'll eat some dinner. And our team is basketball junkies, so the ones that don't go hang out with their families will probably turn some basketball on and sit in their team, and the coaches will go back and do more work and make sure we're ready for our walkthrough in the morning. And the first night that we were here, we went and did an escape room. The first night that we went to the Big South tournament, we bowled and we hung out, and that all goes back to kind of what I said in that earlier question of making sure that we've got good balance of making memories, and also when it's time to work, it's time to work.
Pete.
Laura, do you think it helps you guys that you were here in this building before, you saw the crowd, and understand fully or a little bit better than most teams who come here for the first time what you're going to face?
Yeah, I think, I'd seen South Carolina games on TV, but there's no way, I don't care how many times you turn speakers of loud noise and you try to practice with a lot of noise, there's no way to simulate this environment besides playing in it. And I don't know what they do or if they make some noise up on the video boards, but there are moments in the game where it roars with noise and yelling, and it's like I look like I'm only moving my mouth to the players. They have no idea what I'm saying, and it's an awesome environment to play in. I'm looking forward to it. And I do think that there's an advantage that we've played in it before. I think there's an advantage to already playing South Carolina, probably for them and us, honestly, because we can make adjustments and we can see what they adjusted and did and what bothered us and what bothered them. And you can put together a good game plan. And tomorrow comes down to what team's grown the most and what team wants it the most. And looking forward to the challenge, honestly.
Joe.
Kind of piggybacking off that, how much does Cardoso being out change your game plan or maybe the way that you'll have your matchups and personnel go out there?
Well, they have a lot of depth. So they've played without her before. So I think that's the advantage, that it's not like their first time that they've had to figure it out. So we've tried to go back and study some of those game film to see who do they go to, who do they want the ball, because she is such a big part of their offense. But it does take off a little bit of length. But they still have so much athleticism, and I think the other thing is they'll lean more into their guard play. They have really, really awesome guards, but I do think it might open up the rim just a little bit. Obviously, defensive rebounding is a challenge without her in there, but sometimes in our game we were boxing Cardoso out with 2 and 3 people unsuccessfully. So I do think that there will be a little bit of a less challenge on the defensive glass. It'll still be a real challenge for us, but I think that just the length, it'll be a little bit less. But, I still think that we still have to protect the paint with or without her. There's still a lot going on in there from their offensive rebounding.
Pete.
Obviously, Laura, you guys are a quick ride down 26 here. You're so aware of Dawn Staley and how she's built this program. She said she spoke with you guys earlier this week. What does she mean to the game and some of the fan base that you saw last night, because you're trying to kind of establish your own little your own program like she has here?
I mean, I look up to her so much. It meant everything to us that she took the time to come by and speak with our team, and our team was fangirling, honestly. And they've got to be, turn that gear off tomorrow when we go out on the court, and I know that they will. But part of the reason why the women's game is where it is because of her. I mean, there was obviously a lot of amazing coaches a long time ago that really set the table, but everything she does is to build her program and to grow the women's game, and how she handles herself. I want to be just like her, and I think she's a good ball coach too. Obviously, she's a great recruiter, and I think one of the most amazing things that she does is she keeps those kids locked in that are on the bench that could be starters at other places, and I think that's so much to look up to, and I just appreciate her and exactly how she's grown her fan base and what she's done for the game in South Carolina. One of my favorite headlines through all of this has been something to the effect, I can't remember exactly what it said, but it said, there's history being made, and it's not in women's basketball, and it's not happening in Columbia. And I loved that because we want to be like them. Obviously, we're on a different scale and a different level, but so much respect for her and what she's done for the game.
Go back to the front here.
Coach, we know what South Carolina is as a collective, as a unit. Is there 1 or 2 players that are just a problem and a matchup nightmare for you guys?
Well, there's definitely more than 1 or 2, probably. I think Malaysia Fulali is obviously an unbelievable guard. She has great speed. The guard that we saw last night has some similar moves to her. Obviously, Fulali is a lot bigger and maybe has a little bit more in her bag. But I think no matter who they have, what lineup they play on the floor, we need to team defend. I mean, that's what's gotten us here. That's what we're good at. That's what we hang our hat on. Is we have pretty good size and length too, and it's not going to come down to can we play one-on-one here, can we play one-on-one here. It's going to come down to executing the scheme, working our mental game, and having great toughness throughout the course of the game, because we have got to adjust in our defensive rebounding and make sure that we're not just turning and boxing, but we've got to create a cavity, box out quicker to try to limit them to one shot. I mean, we went back and looked at over 60 of their points came from, second chance points, transition points, and points off turnovers, and we've got to cut those out to put ourselves in a position.
Joe, you good? Yeah. All right. Any other questions for Coach Sharp? No, we're good. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.